The second rule of great academic writing is make supporting details actually support the main idea of the paragraph. Supporting details can support the topic sentence in one of three ways: by clarifying, by proving, and by developing. A paragraph may have one or more different types of supporting details. We're now going to look at each of these types in detail. The first function of a supporting detail is to clarify the main idea that's contained in your topic sentence. And when we're looking at clarifying, there are 6 ways of performing this function. These include restating the topic sentence, defining terms in your topic sentence, comparing and contrasting the main idea in your topic sentence to other ideas, explaining particulars of the main idea, illustrating instances of the main idea, and giving concrete examples. Let's start by looking at restatement, which is again one way of clarifying your topic sentence. So by restatement, what we mean is that sometimes the topic sentence is difficult to understand. And you can help the reader understand by paraphrasing the topic sentence. Use simpler words. Your restatement will come right after the topic sentence. You see, the difficulty in understanding it is not due to poor grammar or poor style, but simply due to the complexity or abstractness of the main idea, or due to the reader's unfamiliarity with the idea. Therefore, you want to use other words that may not be as precise but communicate the main idea in a more straightforward and simpler or simple manner. This restatement is often preceded by linking words such as, in other words, put differently, that is. These linking words will be discussed in some more detail under Rule 3. The second way of clarifying the main idea is by providing a definition. Your topic sentence may include key terms that your reader may not understand. To help your reader understand, it's essential that the key words are first defined before developing your main idea any further. Of course, these definitions can come from you or from an outside authority or source, such as a dictionary or encyclopedia. It's important that you define key terms associated with your main idea before you prove your main idea or develop it. Naturally, you will be more successful in proving your main idea or developing it further if your reader understands what the main idea means in the first place. So it's important that you are consistent in how you use these key terms and definitions. So you must use them in the same way throughout your paragraph and essay, because your reader will have in his or her mind the definition that you've previously given to the word. It's sort of like a contract between you and the reader. On a side note, one of the major reasons why many debates and discussions break down is because participants are talking past each other. In other words, while they are using the same words, the meaning that each group or participant ascribes to the words differ. This often happens when loaded terms such as freedom, democracy, justice, and equality are being used. Let's take, for example, the phrase COVID death. What does it really mean? Does it mean someone who tested positive for COVID-19 and then died due to other causes, such as a traffic accident? Does it include those who exhibited symptoms but were never tested but died while symptomatic? Or does the phrase include those who died due to COVID-19 and possessed or had no comorbidities? So the point I'm trying to make is that how we define the phrase will obviously have great ramifications for the number of deaths associated with COVID-19 in a given region, not to mention the ensuing hysteria that these figures and numbers tend to produce. Now let's look at a third way of clarifying your main idea. So you can also clarify your topic sentence by comparing or contrasting the main idea. You may present similar ideas or you may present quite different ideas. But by comparing or contrasting, you're helping your reader build associations and connections between the main idea of the paragraph and other more familiar ideas. A fourth way of clarifying your topic sentence is by giving particulars. Once you are confident that your reader understands the main idea, you can further clarify it by narrating or describing particulars and details related to the main idea. Lastly, you can clarify your topic sentence by providing illustrations or examples. The difference between the two is that an illustration is a concrete representation of an abstract idea, while an example is an instance of a broader category or phenomenon. So, like I said before, there are three ways of supporting your main idea or your topic sentence. The first is clarifying, and we covered various ways to clarify. The second way is to prove your main idea by giving reasons, by giving evidence. Supporting details have a second important function, and that is to prove the main idea by reasons and evidence. This function comes only after you're confident that the main idea is clear in the reader's mind, which is quite logical. After all, how can you convince someone to believe you if they can't even understand you? While this actually does happen quite a lot, believe it or not, in non-academic writing, by manipulating the reader's emotions and sensitivities. It is not the ideal route in academic and in particular scientific writing, where the goal is to convince through rational and or empirical evidence. So it's important that the reason you give is not simply a restatement of your topic sentence. This is something I see quite frequently, to be honest, with my college students. For example, I believe the death penalty is a good deterrent because it reduces the crime rates wherever it is applied. This is circular reasoning. In other words, you're saying that I believe in X because of X. The conclusion and the premise are one and the same. In academic writing, what counts as proof includes rational arguments, statistical evidence, research findings, and statements by experts in the field. Finally, a third way to support a topic sentence is by mentioning the causes and effects of the main idea. So these are the three ways of supporting a topic sentence. Which one you use will naturally depend on many factors, a discussion of which is beyond the scope of this course. However, as obvious as it sounds, one of the best ways to improve your writing is to read well-written works. So let's look at 3 model paragraphs and 3 weak paragraphs, because sometimes things are best understood by looking at their opposites. In this paragraph, the main idea is job satisfaction is influenced by strength of the relationship between the managers and employees. So that's the main idea. And this is expressed in the first sentence, which is where it should be, where it belongs. The sentence that follows the topic sentence clarifies it by illustrating one spectrum of the idea. This is explained in the third sentence. In the fourth sentence, the main idea is clarified by stating the opposite spectrum. That is, what happens when there is a weak relationship. The final 3 sentences give a personal illustration that makes the main idea more vivid and concrete. In the second model paragraph, the main idea is that there are external factors resulting in employees not being happy with their job. First, I clarify this by illustrating a particular instance of it, namely social media sites such as Facebook and LinkedIn. If I wanted to develop this paragraph further, I could include evidence supporting my claim about the relationship between job satisfaction and social media. All right, in this third model supporting details paragraph, the topic sentence indicates that this paragraph will focus on how single-sex schools strengthen students' identity. Therefore, the reader expects to learn about this and not other pros and cons of single-sex schools. Take a minute, read each sentence, and see whether you can see how it's related to the topic sentence. The first supporting detail develops the topic sentence by explaining what causes the promotion of a sound identity. The following sentence develops the idea further by mentioning the consequences of a strong identity, namely ease of communication. I then restate the topic sentence by saying, such an environment helps children to know themselves. This is followed by another consequence, the development of strong personalities in adults. Sentences 6 to 8 clarify the topic sentence through the use of an example. All right, so this is the first of 3 example paragraphs that illustrate weak supporting details. Okay, so this is what you should try to avoid. Now, to assess the strength of supporting details, we have to first look at the topic sentence, as they're mutually supportive. The topic sentence in this paragraph indicates that we will learn how both work-life balance and daily exercise can reduce stress-related sickness. However, the supporting details make no mention of the work-life balance and focus exclusively on exercise. This paragraph can also be seen as an example of a poor topic sentence. But because our focus here is on supporting details, I'd rather look at how we can change the body rather than change the topic sentence. So the way to fix this paragraph is to include at least a single sentence or maybe 2 clarifying or developing the issue of work-life balance. This way, the expectation of the reader will be met. According to the topic sentence, this paragraph should be about why investing in a cure is better in the long run than investing in preventative measures. The second half of the paragraph, however, discusses prevention rather than cure. If you recall, one of the ways of supporting the topic sentence is by contrasting it or denying the opposite. Therefore, I won't say that the last couple of sentences are unrelated entirely, but they are too long, as the focus of this paragraph should be cure, not prevention. In this final example paragraph, the problem arises in the final sentence. While the topic is about how organic diets lead to improvements in health, the final sentence discusses the role of exercise in promoting health. So this paragraph can be easily corrected by removing the final sentence, as it simply does not belong. And doing so will make the paragraph coherent